Hello, 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 hello. How are we doing today? I hope we're all doing okay out there. Happy Sunday. Um, Today we're coming with you live with Lovers Corner right at Palace TV. Please join us. We welcome you all to today's show. I promise it will be really fantastic, fantabulous. So we welcome you all to today's show and thank you all for joining us. This is Palace TV and we're coming to you with Lovers Corner. Today's topic is really interesting for all the young people out there. It's pretty much like what the trauma that young adults go through when they encounter early pregnancy. So it's pretty much what we're talking about today, the trauma that it causes with young adults in early pregnancy. Again, it's Lovers Corner. We're coming to you right at Palace TV. Today is Sunday, October 27th. It is 3:30ish. Welcome. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell someone to, anybody tell them to join us live. Before I introduce my wonderful guests today that I have to talk about this, interesting but rather very vital topic, because teenage pregnancy is real. It happens to the best of us. It happens, so it's important to talk about stuff like this. And I am so grateful that we have a platform like this at Palace TV to bring you guys with such, vital information that most, young people go through in our today's society. So again, thank you for joining us. We welcome you guys all. Please do share the page. We're live on Facebook at Palace TV, also on YouTube. We do encourage you guys to watch us on YouTube because not a lot of people know that we stream live from YouTube, but we do. So just look us up at Palace TV at Facebook or YouTube, and please share the page. I will introduce my guests today. I have three wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous ladies with me today who are going to join me with this information that we are coming with you guys live today. So I'll just let them give you their names and introduce themselves and where they worship and just a little bit about themselves and how they're delight to be with us today. I can start with you, Adama.
You all know me. My name is Adama. Adama Mansari, and I worship at God's Family Palace. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Fatma Tafufana. I'm not a Christian, but I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Rachel Magdalene Sisay, and I worship at Vineyard North Church, and I'm very excited to be here.
Thank you guys so much. Okay, so we have these three beautiful ladies. Of course, Adama, you guys know Adama. As she said, she is my sister, my co-host, my buddy, my bestie. We both worship here at God's Family Palace. She's just an awesome delight person to know.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for being here with me, and thank you for putting all this together.
Come on now.
I really appreciate it takes teamwork.
Yeah.
It really does. So I just want to say I appreciate you for for us to put this together and bring this information out here. So I'll start with you, Adama. I know you're not a mom, and not yet. That's a good thing. Or maybe not. I know you're not a mom, but you're in that young adult age, that vital age. And what I mean by that, you're at that peak age where I've seen women and I'm trying to refrain from the phrase girls, women at your age who have already been a mom and
who are
I am
already
so
pregnant.
grateful
And
that
so we have a platform like this at Paris TV that
my producer is having fun back there, but we're just gonna continue. But anyway, I know, like I said, you're at that peak age where there are girls who already have a baby or two at your age. With you being at that age, that's so vital. What experiences have you had? Or let me put it this way: what are you doing so far to tell yourself, I'm not ready yet to go through that trauma of early pregnancy? And we're using the word trauma only because we all know the pressure and the responsibility it comes with raising a child, even at the age when you're ready. More or less to say, at a young age when you feel like you are not ready, but it does happen. So, like, what are you doing right, or what do you have that's surrounding you, that's helping you, keeping you grounded from saying, I'm not ready yet, it's not time yet?
Well, it's a lot. So for just as you're saying, I'm not a mom, but I've raised a child before, and I know how it feels. I've raised a child that is 60 now, and just imagine in the days of like 2014, 2013 or so, the time of Benny Mix. I don't know if you remember that. Whereas you have to um, pound the Benny for yourself, like it's a combine of, now they call Cerelac and all of this. At that time, we don't have that. I have to do Benny Mix. Well, it was there, but we can't afford that. So I have to beat that and put it together to make like food for my younger brother, and do this white rice mix palm oil. So it takes a lot of responsibility, and through the grace of God, just as you said, it's not easy as a younger. You see other girls playing with their kids. Sometimes you get a feeling like, oh, I want to feel the experience, but another time I get like, I don't think this is something that is easy. It's not easy to raise a child. It's not easy at all, because I was raised before. I know what my auntie went through with me. Like, I always like sharing that. When I was a kid, I used to do very bad stuff, like, I would jump into the water that people drink. Like, people thought I was a wizard, but like, that's just the feeling of a child. So what I do, I say to myself, it's a decision. It's not easy, it's a decision, and I took my time what to do not to get kids at this time. Just as you said, even when you're ready, it's a whole lot of work. Let's talk of now. I'm in school and I'm in church. Okay, church is not that much of it, but like school, I know it's gonna take a lot of my time. The time I would like wanna have for study, I will use it. Oh, I have to look over my baby. I have to go take my baby from the daycare. Like, it's a whole lot of work. So I said it's a decision I made that I'm not gonna have kids right now till I feel like this is the time.
Okay. Fatmata, do you agree with what she's
Yeah,
saying? Like, is it like an individual decision at a point, or because
For me, it wasn't a decision. So, but it's
now
definitely,
you're a mom, right?
Yes. Yes, I
Okay.
am. I am. It's definitely a lot of hard work. When I had my son, I was only 16. I was still in high school, so not being able to get enough night's sleep because you got to stay up with the baby and make sure he's all right, feeding him, changing him. It's definitely, it takes a lot of hard work.
16. What grade were you in?
Well, I was in the 9th grade.
Ninth grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a lot. It was a lot.
So, when you look back at age 16 and now, is your would you have done anything? Is there anything you could have done differently?
Yeah, I would have definitely waited and used protection at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about you?
I had got pregnant when I was 22.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely it is hard. It wasn't planned. It was unplanned.
Yeah.
Um, it was the wrong timing. But I just feel like when it happens, and you have to just endure and go through it. It's a process, and it's challenging, but God will always be there to help.
Okay. See, that's my next question for you guys. But again, for our viewers out there, if you're just joining us, we're coming to you live at Palace TV. This is Lovers Corner, and today's topic, in case you missed it earlier, is the trauma that you know young adults go through of having early pregnancy, like that trauma, it caused them that everlasting, stigma it leaves with young adults when they have, or young teenagers when they have kids at a very, very young age. For most of these, couple of these ladies who already been there and they've experienced that, it's as you hear them, it's a choice of maybe I could have waited, or and in the case of Adama, who is not a mom, she
Not
said
yet.
it's just a decision she keep telling herself, I'm not ready yet, I'm not ready yet. But if you're a young teenager out there and you don't have that control, or maybe that protection around you, that parental guardianship around you to know what's right and what's wrong, or to make those decisions, it's really, really hard. So I really encourage you out there, please share the program. It may help someone who might be going through, that decision right now. Is it time for me to have a baby, or should I wait or not? Please, please, please do share the program. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we welcome you guys all. Again, this is Palace TV. We're at Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you so much. So I was just going through some of my questions. Adama, maybe I'll let you answer it, maybe so that way you these ladies can have an idea like where we're coming from. For some ladies who have been through this, where it's like, so they get pregnant at this age where they're not prepared, they're not ready, and then it happened. And then, but like sometimes these kids that are born, there's no dad around. And that pain that it causes, to some of these young people, which all is part of that traumatized that it caused them. Like how if you don't have support system around, how like that is so hard to manage. Yeah. And I know it's so hard for you. You haven't been there yourself, yeah. But I'm sure you've been around. Yeah. You were talking earlier when we were doing prep about your kids and your nephews and nieces that you help raise. Yeah. And we were talking about that. But like being around those people around you, like what do you take from them? Like what do you see?
Well, like Allianz saying like I'm not ready doesn't mean like, oh, that's something. It's sometimes it's good. Like what Fatima was saying is that if you don't have that guide, it's a problem. But seeing what other young people have gone through raising these kids and having all that, and like Richard was saying, it's a process. I'd look at other people's experience and learn from it. I don't have to go through it. And you were asking that if now let's say maybe a parent is watching us, a dad, please, dad, be there for your kids. I know even if it's unplanned, maybe you're having hard time with this lady and things that happen for that unborn child. it's very hard and painful for a woman to raise a child alone. It's painful because I'm like an example to that. I was never with my dad. My dad didn't raise me. Matter of fact, the kids I raised are my uncle's kids. My uncle raised me. So I was raised from another end. And sometimes, like when I talk and people are like, Adam, you're so experienced. It has to take someone to go through certain things to have this kind of experience. So it's very painful when the mom, like what people said, my mom gave birth to me when she was around 14. So just imagine, like when normally they try to explain that scenario, like they said my mom was swollen. My mom didn't breastfeed me. There was another woman that breastfed. So just imagine, like, and all those things are spiritual things.
Right.
So if you go through all of that, there was no dad, and at the end of the day, no matter how you raise a child, when that child goes to a certain age, he or she is gonna ask for a dad. But how will you feel as a dad, even though, yeah, that's your child, but you were not there? There's a conscience. So that's like a pain women go through. And if those kids, like nobody like will plan to go have a child except for otherwise some, because some ladies thinks that's the way to keep a man. Okay. But no lady in the right senses will want to just have kids without planning for them. Wow. But if it, like what I'm saying, that if at the right time, like when you go married, there are even some people that got married, they still don't want to have kids, and they said they want to enjoy themselves first. Like not to take off, married, maybe you're into a relationship and things like that happen. Some men, if they're not ready, they space the woman and leave the lady to deal with all of that.
But see, for me, I see that as a, I don't know if you guys agree. I do get where you're coming from, but to some extent, I think that's like a individual decision where for every individual, everybody's situation is different. Yeah. How they got to where they at. So like, let me say, for example, for Matt, maybe your situation wasn't that, I'm trying to keep this guy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes,
as an individual, everybody have a different reason how they get there in that place. Like,
well, that's the reason why I said, except for otherwise.
Right.
They see the ladies do that. Like, this guy is treating me this way. I'm sure all the stories like that. Yeah. I'm going to get pregnant for him so that he can stay. People do that. So that's why I said otherwise. So
what do you say?
Yeah, definitely there are females out there who would, get pregnant for a guy to keep the guy. Yeah. But in my situation, it wasn't that. I was young. I was, just trying to experience what it was. So unfortunately, I'm very proud of my son now. He's 14 years old and I'm very proud of him. But back then, it was hard and it was a lot of struggle. His dad has not been around. He's still not around. But by the grace of God,
See, that's exactly why I love this topic so much. See, like, when a lot of people think of trauma, they think of, oh my God, someone get into an accident, like, you know what I mean? But like, see, that's a very traumatized situation right there, where it's not okay. Yeah. Like, for a dad not to just be in their son's life like that, it's not okay. But then in our today's society, society make it seems like they almost like they normalize these things, and it's not. It is not okay. Again, thank you so much for our viewers out there who are joining us live today. I'm just gonna take a quick break and just go and just recognize our viewers who are watching us today. Amelia is watching all the way from London. Thanks, Amelia. She said hi. Please share the program. Alton Bedford say, how are you, Amelia? Okay. Thank you, Alton, for watching. TT Godson, thank you for watching. Adama Mansari, thank you for watching. Thank you guys so much. If you're just joining us today, we're coming to you live from Palace TV, and this is Lovers Corner, and today we are talking about the trauma it causes young teenage adults when they have kids at an early age. And for parents who are out there, I please encourage you to not only watch the show with your kids and get a little bit of insight of what we're sharing with you guys, but also use this as a guardians to educate your kids, educate your young adult kids. You can never educate them enough. Like educate. Tell them the truth. Don't sugarcoat stuff. Tell them exactly what it is. If you do this, this is the end result of where you're going to be at in life. Just be honest with your younger. I mean, they already know the stuff. They're on Facebook. They're on everywhere. They learn the stuff just at school, Google, from their peers. They already know the stuff. So don't tell them exactly what it is and the consequences that it will cause. In some situation where it's unfortunate, the unfortunate situation that happened to some of us. Right. It's not a matter of, oh, I want to experience this, I want to experience this. Sometimes some people just take what's not given to them forcefully, and 9 months later there's a kid, Right. Those situations does happen, like the situation of rape and stuff, but that's a whole, topic of its own. But everybody have a different situation, right. How they get pregnant. But I mean, I know sometimes society look like, oh my gosh, you have a baby at 16, and they start making judgment. They start looking at you some kind of way, like, oh my God, I can't believe, you know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes even in the church, people look at you some kind of way, like, oh my God, you come to church with your kid and they know you're young. You know what I mean? It happens. I mean, these are stuff we should not shy away from talking about. Yeah. It's true. It's real. It's happened every day. So it's important that we're talking about this stuff, but it's just interesting, like some statistics here. Like I was going through the CDC website earlier this morning. It says the CDC did a survey that 194,377 babies were born by young kids at an age between 15 and 19. Wow. This was done in 2017 though. That's a lot. And then I look at, I know all of us here are from African descent. I look at the statistics in Africa, also done by CDC. 143 girls, out of 1,000 girls, 143 at the age of 15 to 19, same age as the one done in the United States, who are also being pregnant, have a baby at that age. That is a lot. Yeah. That is a lot. And it's just as a parent, if you're watching this, what are you doing or what are you not doing to keep your young kids safe? And a lot of times it's like once a parent know that the kids have gotten pregnant, like they find it so like, what have I done, and they make it so hard. And maybe sometimes, like from us that are from Africa, like, oh, this kids just want to run away and just go live life. But how do you, as a young adult, like I'm gonna start with you, Matter, this time, knowing that, okay, I'm 16, I've gotten pregnant. Like you think of it like that's the worst thing that have happened to you that's the worst in life. And then, but it's not. And then like your parents find out and the next thing they want to do is kick you out. It's like, how worse can it get? Like how did you do it?
Well, for me, I had my older sister who was very supportive. But when my dad found out, he didn't have the reaction that I thought he was going to have. I thought he was going to go crazy. send me
Oh.
back to Sierra Leone. So your time here is done. Go back. But he didn't do any of that. He told me, it's you can't do anything about spilled milk.
Yeah,
So
it's already on the ground.
we just gotta, work through it. And yeah, I mean, I was, I was very, very scared. I thought he was gonna kill me. I thought it was gonna be the end of the world. At some point, I didn't even want to be alive anymore because I thought it was, and the judgment from the African community was the worst. Like, everybody thought like I was this girl who just, it was very bad. It was very bad, especially coming from the African community.
Oh yeah.
Like they didn't want their kids around me. They didn't want their kids to be like me. Oh yeah, she got pregnant. She has a kid
That's a shame.
at 16. So it was very, very bad. But I had my sister who was very supportive, and people around me. So yeah, I just work through it, and I see myself as a person who is very self motivated. Like, I don't take what people say about me and just be like,
And consume
yes,
it.
yeah, and
accept
consume it and be like, oh, that's the end. No, I always strive for the best, and I kept moving forward. I'm like, okay, it's not the end of the world, even though I felt at that time that it was the end of the world. But I self-motivated myself and told myself it's not the end of the world. You can do this. You can finish high school. You can do better. You can work, and you can make this work at the age of 16. So with that kind of experience, I felt like I was forced to grow up, and I gained a lot of experience from it. Like, I felt like I did better having a child than if I didn't get pregnant. Maybe I would have. I don't know, but I just felt like I was forced to grow up and face life in reality.
In reality.
Yeah.
Okay. Before I get to you, Rachel, I do want to tell our viewers again, thank you if you're just joining us live. This is Palace TV, and this is Lovers Corner. We're coming to you live from Facebook and YouTube. Thank you, and thanks for sharing. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. For our viewers out there, if our phone lines are open, you can call our phone line at 614-423-7188. Call us with any questions. If you want to talk to one of these ladies, me or Adama, any one of us, just call us. We will answer your questions that you have. Please, again, that number is 614-423-7188. That's the live number for at the studio. Please call us with any questions that you may have. Back to you, Rachel. In regards to what Fatmata was saying, how did you handle your situation? Yes.
Well, mine was different. Since I was 22 and I wasn't home.
Right.
I was
You were on your own.
I was on my own.
Okay, so you were not
like-
living at home then.
No.
Okay.
I was living with my boyfriend at the
Okay.
time when I got pregnant, and once I found out I got pregnant, I was very, very scared, even though I wasn't home. Yeah, I was very scared. I was thinking like, oh my God, how would I tell my mom? How would I confront her with this kind of, because when you grow up in an African home, you tend to fear your parents,
Absolutely.
even when you're grown. Yeah, you tend to still fear them. So I just, like, she'll call me and say, hey, I'm just checking on you. Are you everything okay? I was like, yeah, everything is fine. And one day she picked me up. We had to go do something, and I was in the car with a husband, and we're going. I was sitting down there, like, how the hell would I tell her? So she was like, are you sick? You look different. Da, 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 da. So we went to wherever we're going, and we came and to drop me off. They came to drop me off back. And I was like, I have something to tell you. And she was like, what is it? Like, I don't even know I'm going to tell you. And I was like, I'm pregnant. Oh. She was like, what? How can you do this to yourself? Your life is finished. Yeah, at that time she was really she was upset. And she was like, okay, go, just go, just go. And I left, I got out, and I went in the house. Like, I'm going to go tell your grandparents what you have done. So a few hours later, she called me and she started saying, have you started, how many weeks pregnant are you? You already started going for prenatal care and stuff. And she came around.
So she was,
She was
she
very,
came around.
she came around. I know
That's
she was
good.
really mad, but
Yeah.
she came around.
She came around.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
good. That's good. And it's not the case for most people.
No.
For most people, it's like it's a different story, but with every, like I said, with every situation, everybody have their own different support system and the people that are that comes out to help, but most parents don't handle this lightly. They really don't. Coming from an African parent, they do not handle this.
You can't blame them.
Like it's like how do you even tell your African parent that you're pregnant?
Right.
And I'm 16 and like how, or 22? How do you tell them? It's really really hard. But do you guys think it's different for like an African home compared to an American home, and like how they handle
Yes.
like information like this?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
like what difference do you see?
and it doesn't just have to be an American parent. I've heard of a lady that said there's a girl, our mom would drop her to the boyfriend's house, our boyfriend's house, the mom. So, like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, my mom dropped me off to my boyfriend's house, and when I'm there, call me, mom, come pick me back. And like, an African parent, first of all, you don't even know what to tell your African parent. If, like, you want to go somewhere. Like me, if I want to go somewhere, I have to sneak from the house. Because what would I even say? Like, because the only place I go is school, church, markets. So if you want to run an errand, what will you tell your parent? Like, mommy, auntie, I want to go to this place. My auntie, you say you want to go to this place, she will go check. So yes, the way American parents handle information, it's different. Like in the case of Rachel, like information like that, the mom did well. Like there's no parent that will feel happy just one afternoon and the child, he didn't bring anything. I'm pregnant. No, that's not the kind of news she want to hear, or the dad, But the way she end up called, some, maybe in that process of you getting upset, then the child just went and go commit suicide.
Wow.
So those are the kind of, I feel that's what American parents think about, because these kids here, they can do anything in 1 second. They can just go commit suicide, take a lot of drugs, and at the end of the day, you lose both your child and the unborn child. So African parents, and I think that's the reason why it's good for us to have this platform to educate both the parents and the young adults. The way you handle your information, there are some parents that their kids cannot talk to them. They have to go outside to talk to other people, but I don't think that's right. Every parent, you should be able to listen to your child, because just as you were saying, these kids, when you don't teach them, they will go learn it outside. Right. American parents, they get a certain age, they say, let's do the father's talk. That doesn't mean they're sending them out, but they know they're going to do it anyways. So just to guide them. So I think, yes, African, some, but 75% of, if we were doing statistics, 75% of African parents and American parents take information differently. So I don't know, maybe Effie and Rachel will have something.
No, like different. Earlier, I know Fatmata said, like, when in your case, you were at the point where you feel like you wanted to kill yourself. It was so bad, especially not having someone there, or maybe the judgment of,
Yeah.
the stigma of like, oh, I'm in ninth grade, I'm pregnant.
Disappointed.
The person that have done this is nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And to the point where you felt that way, of like wanting to end your life. That must be so hard, like just to have that thought, like
Yeah.
in your mind, like, oh my god, I can't. Did you even at a point think about, what about the person that's going inside of me?
Well, I thought about it in a way that I rather just give birth and not be alive anymore, because the father, he was also young. He was older than me. He was 18, but he had another child on the way. So it's like 6 months apart. He has me pregnant. He has that one pregnant. So
Oh, wow.
Right.
he was scared himself too. He didn't want to have to tell his parent that he got another girl pregnant. So he advised that I do abortion, but I just couldn't get myself to that point to take another life. So
Okay.
I made a decision to not do it and just face whatever it is that I have to face. Even though I was scared to death, telling my dad and having the community know what has happened. But I made a decision to just go ahead and face whatever it is that I'm going to face, because I cannot take that upon myself, doing abortion. So, yeah, that's.
Wow, that's again. Thank you so much for joining us live today. For our viewers who are just joining us, this is Palace TV, Lovers Corner, coming to you live with the topic of the trauma it causes young adults, in early teenage pregnancy. I think this is, I can't stress how important this is to talk about, because it happens for all of us here, knowing how you guys have gone through this so young. I think it's rightful to say most of us that are sitting right here grew up here, and it's like we've seen, we've seen stuff like this that have happened not only to us but to other people.
Yeah.
So for parents, I think, like, I cannot say it enough of the importance of having those talk with your young kids, your young adult kids. Like, like I say, like, I did a show for someone where we have to talk about, just parenting. And like, I remember I was saying, like, just how it's good to, like, checking in with your kids,
Yeah.
especially your young adult kids, 2, 3, 4 times a week, just checking in with them, like, just like, hey, let's have a lunch, let's have a lunch day, we having a caller. Just a second. Someone is calling us. Hello. 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 Are you there? Caller, are you there? Hello. Okay. They hang up. Okay. Well, whoever it is, please call us back. Again, our phone line is open. You can call us with your questions, and we will pick up the phone. Like, seriously. What was that?
Is it text? Comment.
At that phone line again is 614-423-7188. Call us again, please. We'd love to talk to you, whoever that was. I'm gonna go through some of our comment here, and then I'll get back to. Oh, okay. Hello, caller, are you there?
Hi, Nana. It's Saf.
Hi, how are you, Saf?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Hi, Adama. Hi, everyone.
Hi. That's a curse.
What? Do you have a question for us?
I just want to answer to the question that you were talking about, when you're saying that, how different people view about teenage pregnancy,
Yeah.
about like African parents and the like Americans or other like nationality.
Okay.
Um, I just want to say, like, with most of the time, well, not even most of the time, because, like, especially if you're coming, like, from an African background, like, they actually see, like, getting pregnant at that age, especially if you're, like, 14, 15, or 16 as a taboo.
Right.
Like, it's a shame to the family. They don't want you to get pregnant at that age.
Right.
And especially with African parents, like, you can't talk to them about anything.
Right.
You understand? You can't talk to them about anything. You can't be open with them because even if you're going through a lot of stuff, you can't be open with them because as soon as you start talking to them, the first thing that they will say, oh, go away. They're always busy or they're working, so they don't even have time for you.
Okay.
And with the American or the other, people, the reason why they accept their child, like, for example, like when they're pregnant, it's because they don't want their child to go astray out there. So they
Right.
think that when they accept the child, at least the child will be open up to them. So,
Absolutely.
for example, like what Anima was saying that, the friend or she was saying that, oh, I'm going to my boyfriend's flat, or my boyfriend's house, and I'll call my mom to pick me after, like, then my mom will pick me up. So these are things like they encourage their kids to be open with them
Right. Right.
instead of hiding.
Right, and that's what I was just getting at right before you called, where I was just telling this ladies, like, as parents out there, whether you're an African parent or an American parent, it's always very, very important to checking in with your young adult kids. And when I
Yeah.
say checking in, I mean doing this like periodically, like at least a few times a week. Just check in with them, like go on a lunch date with them, communicate with them,
Like
ask
let them be
questions.
open to you
Yeah,
instead
so
of them hiding.
right. Ask questions, like questions that you have puzzle about. Ask them. Tell them, share experiences with them. Maybe things that you've gone through as a parent. Like share and be honest. And I can't stress this enough. As a parent, I really, really think you should really be honest with your kid. Like don't sugarcoat this because this is real. Like teenage pregnancy is real. It happens
real.
every day, and the statistics are so high.
Sometimes as well, it can be like a peer pressure. Like if you have friends and all your friends around you, like your surroundings, like half of them they're pregnant,
You
and then like
right.
it's like a peer pressure. Like oh, me too, I have to be pregnant.
Right.
Like now, like teenage pregnancy, it's like fashion now.
Wow.
So now people are, it's not like before, like when you're pregnant, then like it's like you're blocked out of society.
Right.
Like people will not even go close to you. People will not even talk to you, even at school.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes like you have to like quit school
Right.
because of the shame, because of the fingers, because of the talk they're talking behind your back, the things they're saying. Because you can't be 16 and going to school. And sometimes with African parents are like, oh, it's a shame. Oh, I'm gonna send you back. I'm gonna send you back to Africa, or I'm gonna ship you back. So instead of them embracing, because I know, yes, it's already been happened, but instead of embracing, embracing their kid and everything, they're throwing them out of their life.
Yeah. I know.
And that's so good. So as an African parent, I think with me, if I'm in that place, I'm not a parent right now. I'm just saying out of experience, like what I've been seeing.
Right.
I think like as an African parent, like instead of putting your kids out there, I think you should draw your kids closer to you. Be open with your kids. Let your so the kids can trust you. So even if your kid is afraid to do anything, at least your kid will not be afraid to tell you what's going on in our life. Sometimes we'll go out there and meet different people. We'll talk to different people there. It's not even part of our family.
Right.
They'll give us different advice.
Right.
Because they don't know where we're coming from. So that's
Absolutely.
why, as an African parent, I think the best thing for them to embrace their kids, let them know what their kids is doing, let them know their kids' friend, and embrace them no matter what.
Right.
Because you don't know what the future holds. You never know. Maybe that child they carry, never know. Maybe that child will be the next president. You never know if that where that child would be in the future.
Okay, hold that thought for me for a second, Saf. Hold on the line real quick. Stephanie is saying something in regards to the difference between the African parent and the American parent. Stephanie said, "I think American parent has gotten away from discipline children like old school parent did. I am 56 years old and my parents were so strict. They had a very watchful eye over us. The stuff kids do now would not have been able to get away with back when I was a kid." So she's just saying, so she's not really disagreeing on to how the African parents are managing their kids when they get this type of information. She's looking at it in a way where she thinks it's a fault from most of the American parents because they walk away from disciplined kids, and she's saying that's the problem, why it seems like the American parents are more acceptance into stuff like this compared to an African parent.
Well,
do you guys agree?
I feel it's different from not disciplining your child and try to open up to. I like what you said earlier and tell them the real thing about life.
Oh, yeah.
Tell them that when you do this, this is what's going to happen. Well, if you have unprotected sex, you're going to get pregnant. And when you get pregnant, you have to carry the baby.
Right.
So what as Stephanie is saying is that there's some parents like they have no discipline over their kids. African parents, yes, like African parent, I can tell like they're doing awesome because we all went through it, and so they look at the results. Just as some are doing overboard. That's what I feel like, the miscommunication. That's what I feel.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe ask Effie and Richard. Maybe they have something else to say.
Well, I feel like my dad, he did have the talk with us, and he did try to give us the information about pregnancy and this and that. But I think what the problem was, I just didn't know, and I just didn't understand. Sometimes they say you don't really know something unless you go through it.
Right.
Yeah.
So my dad did provide information to us about, safe sex and this and that. But in my
Kudos to
mind,
him.
I know. That's a good dad.
Kudos to him.
I was just too young to understand any of it, and reality didn't really set in until I did get pregnant. That's why I'm like, oh no. So this is what he was trying to tell me about.
But that's amazing, because for a man, for being a dad, and you telling your female daughter about your female child about how to protect themselves and tell them the reality of it. I said that's an amazing dad you have.
These days, the dad raise the kids more than the women.
Yeah. What do you think, Rachel?
I really never had a talk with my mom or anybody about, sex, prevention of sex. But I think, there's a difference between how an African parent
She's
raises
so
their
soft-spoken.
child.
Oh yeah, that's Rachel for
Like,
you.
I'm trying to get her to...
How an African parent will raise a child from an American. I think African parents, they're more disciplined. They will cane you. They will, put that fear in you. But I think American parents, they're more accommodating. I think probably I'm thinking all these rules and stuff in this country, like you can't really discipline your child, because nowadays, these kids already know, hey, I'll call 911.
Right. You think?
Yeah, I'll call 911. They already know. A child at 6 will say, I'm going to call the police on you.
Okay.
Right. So how can really a parent discipline their child?
Their child,
Know
right.
that, hey, They're gonna call nobody want to go to jail for nobody.
That's
I'm not
true.
going to
That's
jail,
true.
you know. So
One thing I want to bring up is the prevention. Like for you guys, Rachel, Famata, myself, like it's just what do we say to others out there who might be in the verge of maybe getting into an incident like this, or
What do you say to
what,
me?
yeah, what like what do we tell people out there when it comes to prevention? What have you learned that you could have done, that you know now that you could have done to prevent you from being a early mom?
Definitely use prevention, practice safe sex. Definitely, because it's not easy. Like I was saying earlier, I got all the information, but I guess I just didn't understand. I couldn't
didn't
process the
utilize it.
information, and I couldn't. I guess I didn't imagine that I could get pregnant. So I mean, just pay attention to if you are getting the advice, just pay attention to it, and it does happen, and you're not, untouchable. Yeah.
What prevention advice do you have out there?
I feel like if you can abstain from sex,
See, that's what I would say too.
will be very good.
Just don't do
Yeah,
it.
just don't do it.
With
You
the,
know,
in the 21st century, I don't.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's
so
hard.
It's gonna happen. If it does happen, just practice safe sex.
safe
Is what
sex.
Yeah, I
I'll
think it's
say.
hard, but whatever you really set your mind to do, I think you can do it. You know,
Right.
you're not gonna get pressured to do
Right.
what
You don't wanna
what
do.
you don't. It takes two.
Right.
So, if you don't want to have it and your boyfriend want to have it, and you tell him no, he's not gonna force you except he rape you.
Right.
So you can walk away.
Walk
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, you
that's,
can walk
that's,
away.
That's so
And
true.
if you want to decide that you want to do it, yeah, go through the right way. They have IUDs and depot shots and all that. But at the same time, I think you have to back it up with condoms, because they also have like sexual transmitted diseases. You
Right,
don't want to
right.
do that. So
Absolutely, absolutely. For me, what I would just say, like I would agree with both of them, but like, just don't do it. Just don't do it until it's the right time. Maybe you wait till you get married or something. I don't know. But if you do, parents, talk to your kids about this. Have a conversation with them. Sit them down, checking in with them. Be honest with them. Tell them the truth. Tell them the consequences. And as a parent, when stuff like this happen, don't feel guilty. Don't feel like you're a bad parent. You did something wrong. There are some times where some kids just don't share, no matter how much you try.
Yeah.
They don't. They don't.
Listen.
They just don't want to
Yeah.
share. They don't want to talk, and it does happen. But it's important to sit down with your kids, be their support system, and if they cannot talk to you, lead them the way to places, experiences that you have in the community. There's so many places in the community where you can refer them to talk to. Maybe a close auntie of them or a close friend of them. You know, you just can't say, "Oh, she don't want to talk to me." That's it. Maybe they prefer their favorite uncle or their favorite aunt. There's so many measures that you can utilize to get it out of your kids, to talk and to to bring the reality in them, to know that there are consequences when you get pregnant at an early age. It causes so much. For both of you guys are in school.
no, I'm walking.
There's some
I'm working out.
there are some cases where it's the end of their education, and there's some, there's so many consequences. Like you were saying, there are STDs, because sexual transmitted disease are so many out there. They're real. It's just a matter of time when you don't protect yourself. It happens. And so please, parent, talk to your kids. Be open up with them and advise them the best way you can, and or provide them to the right direction if they don't want to talk to you. let me read a few comments. So many people are watching today. Eddie Toure, thanks for watching. Sister Stephanie, thanks for watching. Mami Lucy, thanks for watching. K Marie, thanks for watching. Nafi, thanks for watching. Muhammad Kamar, thanks for watching. Um, Stephanie said, I don't know. There are African parents I know who have no control over their children, and their children
Of course,
don't
that's
listen
true.
and are very disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's like they ignore what their children are doing. I
Yeah.
think it is now
Vice
this
versa.
generation of parents have changed.
Yeah.
They just don't have control. American and African and other
Same.
cultures, I don't see difference. These times are so challenging. They are, Sister Stephanie. Thanks so much. Emilia said, so true, Minister Stephanie, but it is the society with we are living in right now. Everything is out there. You can't discipline your kids anymore. When you try, they said it's child abuse. Yes, and you mentioned like kids calling 911 and stuff like that sometimes when especially in an African home, like the kids know 911. But like the age we're talking about, it's not the age where you're like, oh, I'm gonna call 911. I'm a kid. I mean, any age between 12, 13, and 16 and up there, as a teenager, like you're more aware of consequences. But it's just like, does the reality really doesn't sink in? Like, are these consequences real? But they are. Um, so my we're gonna say our last words. But before we go, I do want to say thank you to our viewers for sharing and watching and joining us today live. We really, really appreciate it so much. I know we've talked about prevention, and now is like I want to talk about how do we stop this? Like, or like I know most of the comments we're getting is like it's like the society today is so hard to stop this. But let me say it's like for when it's already happened, where do people go find help? That's if you feel like you can't get help from family, because I know in Central Ohio there's so many places that I know where people can seek help, even if there's a situation where I've had a baby, I don't want to keep it because of the stigma it's going to cause me, how my peer, or my family don't want to help me. There's so many adoption agencies, there's so many places that wants to help. It's just about knowing where that help is to go get it.
Well, coming from personal experience, I ended up in a setting for young teen parents. So that was very helpful. They teach you how to care for your kids.
Where is this that you go?
Oh, that was in Lowell, Massachusetts.
Okay.
That's where I'm from.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where I ended up, and they help you, with education, how to care for your kids, and how to, get all the necessary assistance and help that you do need, and education that you do need to care for your child. So yeah, for me, that's what I went through. I stayed there for 2 years, and they were very helpful.
They were very helpful.
Mhm.
What helpful
Wow.
thing you can get out there to our viewers?
Well, for my situation, since my situation was different, because I was home with my boyfriend when I got pregnant. But I think you can always, if you get pregnant and you don't have that support system from your family, reach out to communities, churches, go on, you can get information on Google search, just go Google search, for, early pregnancy help, that you need. There's always help out there, if you can get it from your family, you can get it from other people.
I just want to share this real quick. I think this is so interesting. It says a child whose mother had had her as a teenager is set up to have a tough life compared with peers whose parents have birth later in their life. And then as a child whose parents had whose parents had that child as a teenager is more likely to also be a teenage mom
Yeah.
compared to
Yeah.
someone whose mother have them at a later age.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
No, that's
Like
true.
there's kind of like a pattern there.
Yeah.
Once they happen, it's
It
like
continues.
it continues.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
No, and that's true because it almost like happened to me. Just imagine like my mom was very young, and my uncle sees that I was going through that part. It takes what I would say. It takes if you know Christ or maybe you pray like Fatima, she's a Muslim. You pray for your child. Even that your son might be a Muslim, might be a boy, but even if that your son go get a lady pregnant, it will be like a problem to you too, because the pressure on him, and there'll be sometimes you get a mood issue. So even you, the mom, you'll be stressed out. So the advice I would say, if you be in that situation, pray for your child because it's 95% possible for it to happen. She'll be like, my mom went through it. I want to express. These kids today, they want to express everything. You talk to them, they won't listen. They will say, okay, let me go try it and see for myself. But there's nothing prayer cannot change. Pray for that child. Like, Lord, this that happened to me, I don't want it to happen. Every parent wants his or her child to be on top of her shoulder. Because when you're on top of your parent's shoulder, you become taller than them. What does that mean? Like, you become greater than them. What your parent, the mistakes your parent, I always say that. My parents are good parents, but I said the mistakes they went through, I don't want to go through it. So, pray for your kids. Talk to them in their little corner. These days, these kids don't listen. I'm telling you. Pray for them. That's the only thing. I don't know any community, but that's the only thing I can say.
Prayer. Okay. So we're coming close towards the end of today's show. Thank you to all of our viewers for joining us today live. We thank you and appreciate you guys so much. Again, so just last words of before we go. I'll start with you, Rachel. You got 1 minute. Just
Okay.
yeah.
My only advice is sometimes some kids get through peer pressure to have kids,
Yeah.
and sometimes don't get yourself intimidated by your friend. Just because your friend is having sex doesn't mean that you have to have sex, and just try and abstain from sex. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Don't get pressure, because those same friends that are intimidating you to do it, when something bad happens, when you get pregnant, those are the same friends that will turn their back
Backs
at
on
you,
you and will
start
not be
talking
there for
about you, laugh at you, and all that kind of stuff. And it's very, very hard. It's very hard to go
Absolutely.
through stuff like that. So I would say like abstinence from
Abstinence.
sex.
Last words.
Yeah, the same goes for me. Don't, if it does happen, don't give up. And my best advice is for the parents out there, talk to your kids, encourage them, be open, and make sure, like Adama said, you pray for them. That's the best thing you can do for your kids.
Right. What was your
Well,
last words out
that's
there?
that's all we end up with us, the viewers, and it was a nice experience. I learned a lot from you ladies, and damn, like still gonna make me stick to like now. I'm gonna wait till till that man come, because trust me, at the end of the day, this man they don't have too much stress. You, the woman that won't like, Effie said, you have enough sleep, and you'll be thinking about, oh, when am I gonna put to bed? Oh, what would this? So the best thing you should do, like, just be careful and know. Don't say, oh, my friends are doing this, I have to do it. You are not your friends. You are who you are. So always bear that in mind. You're special, and May God help all of us because it's not easy. May He help us so that we won't go to the wrong path.
Yeah. If I can add something, I think this is really important for African parents. I think they shy away from talking about sex with their kids.
Yeah.
And I think it's something they
wrong.
really need to talk to their kids
That's
about.
true.
You know, sometimes I feel like maybe if I should have had the
Kind of
opportunity with
To
my
have
mom
that
to talk to
talk.
my mom.
I feel like sometimes
I
you just
think-
feel like some of our African parents, even when
shy.
they're living in
Yeah.
such advanced
They
countries, they
take
still
sex
they
too.
still
Yeah.
think we're in Africa, like they're
Right.
scared,
Yeah.
like
Scared
it's like
to
a
talk to.
taboo, like you
Right.
can't. But like it's today's
Yeah.
society, it happens.
Yeah.
Thank you so
You're
much,
welcome.
ladies.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate
Yeah.
all of you, and thank you to our viewers for all your participation, all your lovely comments, and your sharing, and thank you. I can't say thank you enough. Like I would agree with all of this, lady. I would like for me just abstinence, and if you can't, just
Protect
Sex.
yourself.
Be
you
safe.
know, protect yourself.
Right.
I mean, STDs are real. Death is real.
I know.
It's never a good thing when you know when a young adult die before their time for something that can be preventable. So use whatever support system you have. The CDC website is a great website to go to get so much information on teenage pregnancy. There's another, it's a nonprofit organization called Adoption Circle. They're a great nonprofit organization that helps teenagers with young, you know, adopting the kids or protecting them, and you know, just listen to them and stuff like that. So there's so much help out there. It's just a matter of knowing how to go about it or where to go, or you know, seeking the right channel of your support system. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, we will join you guys back next Sunday, same time at 3:30 with another lovely show next week with my wonderful producer, Richie Coco. I appreciate you so much for giving me the platform to talk about this. I feel like I've grown so much learning from you. I appreciate you a lot. I'm sure he has something interesting for you guys next Sunday. It's live worship. Next Sunday it's live worship show. So join us for that at 3:30 next Sunday right here at Palace TV. Again, thank you. This is Lovers Corner with my wonderful sister and co-host Adama. Usually, sometimes we're in the back playing with the computers, figuring stuff out. So today we're both on stage, and she is a wonderful little sister.
Thank you.
Little sister. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. See you guys next week. Thank you. Elder, you are so fine. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
I'm wearing heels.
Thank you.
up.